Hello Israel, Learn English podcast with Safa Shelley, the world's best language school. Let's go.
ברוכים הבאים לפודקאסט של שפות שלי, בית ספר לאנגלית ושפות נוספות המוביל בישראל. אני אריאל, שמח להיות כאן איתכם שוב, ברוכים הבאים. למה אנחנו בית ספר המוביל בישראל ללימוד אנגלית ושפות נוספות? Josh is with me today. Josh, what do you think we're the best?
I think we're the best because we have teachers that really care, and we're all professionals, and we have a background in language. We all have our own backgrounds in not just the language itself being native speakers, but we've all studied the language outside.
All right, so we all have unique experience, but to tell you that, להגיד לך את האמת, because of teachers like you, Josh. So, כבוד to share this podcast with you and have you back with us on the show, and it's good to see you. ואני רוצה לשאול את המאזינים שאלה כנה לפני שאנחנו מתחילים. אם האנגלית שלכם היא הדבר היחיד שעוצר אתכם מלקבל את הקידום הבא, או אתם בעצם מוצאים את עצמכם שותקים בישיבות, רק כדי לא לעשות טעות בדקדוק, ואתם פוחדים להישמע לא טוב, או נמנעים מפגישות בזום, או נמנעים מלטייל ולנסוע בחו"ל ולתקשר, אנחנו מתמחים ולתת לכם את הכלים להישמע מקצועיים וחדים, והגיע הזמן לשנות את זה, ואנחנו נשמח מאוד לעזור אם אתם תרצו לקחת את הקריירה שלכם קדימה, או את החיים שלכם קדימה בכלליות, וכל מה שנוגע בנושא לשיפור אנגלית, אנחנו מלמדים בשיטה הכי חדשנית היום, עם מורים סופר מוכשרים ומקצועיים, אז צרו איתנו קשר במספר 053-550-1976, אנחנו זמינים גם בוואטסאפ, אז אתם יכולים גם לדבר איתנו דרך הוואטסאפ, we'll be happy to hear from you guys and to assist. אז היום יש לנו פרק סופר חשוב ומעניין, אנחנו נדבר על emphasis, עוד מעט ג'וש ייכנס עם כל מיני הסברים לגבי זה, אבל לפני שאנחנו יוצאים לדרך, ג'וש, today's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ariel. I just wanted to say a few things. Thanksgiving is a holiday that we don't have in Israel, but in America, it's a holiday where we give thanks. How do you say to give thanks in Hebrew, Ariel?
להגיד תודות. להגיד תודות.
To be thankful for what you have. You know, even on the hardest of days, I always try to remind myself that I have air in my lungs, I have a functioning body, I can walk, I can do everything that I need. And even though it may be rainy outside or a little bit cooler or whatever, I still am thankful. I try to be thankful for what I have.
Is that a Christian holiday, or doesn't matter about religions? It's for everyone.
It's not a religious holiday. It's actually something connected to the Native Americans. And it has to do, from what I understand, I think it was a holiday before the first Europeans came, but essentially it was the first pilgrims, or I don't know, it's not a political thing to say, but the mitnachalim, I guess is what they were called. When they first came, they didn't really know what they were doing. And there was a tribe, I think, of Native Americans that helped these pilgrims out. And they had a very big dinner where they gave thanks. They learned
So you're saying
corn and turkeys and stuff. Fun fact, turkeys come from the Americas, actually, I believe.
יפה. אז אתה אומר בעצם שזה לא קשור לדת. It's open to everyone. Everyone celebrates this holiday, whether they be Christians, Jewish, Muslims, whoever they may be. They celebrate Thanksgiving, sit down for dinner with the family, have turkey, right?
Yeah, turkey, cranberry sauce. Sounds strange, but cranberry sauce with turkey is actually very good. Some other things too.
All right. And is it a fun holiday? Good reason.
Very fun. It's one of those holidays that after the holidays, you're going to be a couple kilograms or pounds more. You're going to weigh a little bit more.
All right. And do people meet together at Christmas? Do they travel for this holiday?
Absolutely. You know, it's something after high school, you know, everyone goes off to their own colleges, or, you know, people move around. But on Thanksgiving, you can expect to see your childhood friends as well as people. It's kind of like, it's known as one of the holidays where you kind of get to recap, you know, see what's been happening in other people's lives, because you get to meet with people that you usually don't see because they live either outside of the state or in a different city. They've moved.
Okay, amazing. So it's a public holiday. long weekend.
Yep.
weekend ארוך, מגניב. כן, אז היום בארצות הברית יש weekend ארוך, אם אתם מאזינים לנו מארצות הברית, ויש לנו כמה, לא מעט מאזינים, Josh Israelis living in America as well, שמאזינים אל הפודקאסט שלנו.
Hello.
hello to you guys and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. So in they say in Judaism as well, what it's like to be, you should always be thankful. Like in Modani Baboker, and they say like Ashir, rich, the acronym, Ashir Ayin Shin Yud Resh stands for Inayim, Shinayim, Yadayim, and Raglayim. As long as you're able-bodied, you're healthy, it's good enough reason to really start the day smiling and be happy.
I'll eat as well.
I know. You're a positive guy, and I'm happy to see you, man. I'm really happy to see you. Honestly, this is amazing. Now, let's talk about emphasis today. You want to just...
What is emphasis? First of all, let's talk about what is the emphasis. מה פירוש, מה זה אומר to emphasize or emphasis? מה זה בכלל?
שאני שם דגש על משהו.
להדגיש, הדגשה, maybe, right? Emphasis, right? So let's jump right into things. The first word that we have is the word for להקליט, or תקליט, or רשומה. So we have the word to record, right? To record, which means להקליט, right? Right now we're recording this meeting, right?
We're recording a podcast.
We're recording a podcast. And then we have the word record. So this is the same words. It's written the same way. נכתב אותו דבר. But the first word, record, יש לנו E חזק, record. And then the other word is record, right? And we're putting our dagesh on the word cord, record, but we're also saying it with an E חלש.
record זה רשומה, זה בעצם to be written somewhere. אם אומרים, אם אפשר להגיד אפשר להגיד דוגמה, בוא נגיד, he has a police record, meaning that הוא רשום במשטרה, יש לו תיק במשטרה. That's an example.
Also, for the older listeners maybe, or, even some of the younger ones that are into retro things, a record player, right, is a player that plays vinyl discs, right?
Magnific. All right, definitely. Yeah, that's cool. Do you have one of those discs? Do you have any vinyls?
Back in the States, my dad had a big collection of vinyl records. And for a while, I remember in the early 2000s, it was kind of hard to actually get a record player. However, nowadays, with, the advent of other technologies and then the increase in popularity in having old things, vintage things, you can actually buy a modern record player. It's something pretty cool. So it's made more recently, but it plays vinyl records.
Now, let me ask you a true question. אם אני מדבר בזמן עבר, okay? And you ask me like, Ariel, I have a lesson next week. Did you record it? Okay. And I'll say to you, it's being recorded. It means it's on record now. It's a record. It's a record. It's on record. Now, but if you tell me, Ariel, I recorded a music album, and I want you to put on the cloud, and then I tell you I recorded it. Does it say I recorded or I recorded it in the past tense?
I recorded it. That's interesting. I think depending on maybe where you are from, you can have both dialects. Different dialects would say different things. But if you said I recorded it or I recorded it, I think both work actually. It's just you would not refer to a record as a record, right? You wouldn't refer to the actual disc itself as a record. But if you want to להקליט את זה מחדש, you would say I'm going to re-record it.
Re-record it. All right, that's cool. בוא נלך לדוגמה הבאה, and Josh, towards the bottom of the stuff that we have prepared today is advanced. We have a couple of advanced ones right at the bottom. If you take a look, we've got a few advanced examples that our podcast production team has worked on for today. So maybe we can do a couple of... We'll jump back and forth. So feel free to give it horns. Must give it horns.
To give it horns, to give it your all. To
give it your all.
Go in
and
9.
Give it horns. All right. Give us another example.
I don't have horns. I just want to go on record and say.
Okay.
All right. So the word for intercept versus intercept, right? So an intercept is basically... How would we say that in Hebrew, actually? An intercept is like a chatifat midah, right? So for those of the, not me, but for those of the people listening that may have worked in something like, I don't know, shmona time or something, or you're listening in, you're trying to spy on someone else, right? If you hear something, and you record it, right? You record a conversation or a message that, you're not supposed to hear it. You can call that record an intercept, right?
Intercept. זה כאילו, we can also talk about יירוטים, like when there was a rocket, it intercepts another rocket, so there will be a יירוט, something that's...
Yeah, an intercept.
משהו שכאילו עוצר משהו באמצע הדרך, משהו שעוצר משהו, the best way to describe intercept is something which is en route somewhere, משהו בדרך לאנשהו, ופשוט בום, נעצר באותו רגע. Gets taken away, יורד.
Yeah, and I guess is on the word in, right? So an intercept, right?
Okay.
Now, what if we want to le'aret or la'atzor mashu, right? So we would say to intercept, right? So אנחנו שמים את הדגש על החלק השני של המילה, שזה stepped, right? So to intercept. And כיפת ברזל intercepts many missiles.
Okay, so let's just go through the first. What is the difference between the two? Intercept and intercept.
So one of these is a noun, שזה בעצם עצם, right? זה דבר. And the second one is a פועל, right? זה לעשות את הרעיון של העצם.
אוקיי, מעולה. אז בעצם הדגש כאן, אם אנחנו עושים דגש, אם אנחנו עושים דגש של האין, זה שם עצם. אם אנחנו עושים דגש על הספט, אז זה השם פועל. To intercept זה הנאון, זה שם עצם, and intercept עם דגש של הספט, זה פועל. All right, let's move on with a few more examples.
Let's go to a more simple one. I love this one. So we have the word project, like a project, and to project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a project, emphasis, dagesh on the pra, right? A project is a project. Dafka milah b'ivrit mamash doma, right? So it's something that we work on. Ovdim al mashu, ovdim b'mashu, amon zman. We can call it a project. The next word, though, we have is the word to project, right? Now, to project is lahakrin or livlot. So, when we're recording, sometimes if you're standing too far away from the mic, you have to project your voice. But more recently, actually, there's a lot of political debates online and stuff. To project can also be when you accuse someone of feeling or doing something that you yourself are actually doing.
You've caught me guilty of this a few times.
Like you
do like this
as well.
You read like this, Ariel, you're projecting.
You're projecting, which just means that you're saying something that you think that someone else is doing, but really you're doing it. Or you're thinking of something's going to happen, so you talk about it as though it's happening already, but it's really on your mind.
Okay, fair enough. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Let's continue. That's a nice example. We've got a few very nice examples. עכשיו,
Do you want to choose one?
אני רוצה להדגיש משהו, Josh, before you continue. זה למה אנחנו עושים את זה? Why is the emphasis so important? כי חלף כל, when you study with us, you need to work, the way you pronounce things is very, very important, the way you emphasize when you speak. So this just teaches you a little bit way to emphasize the words, because if you change the emphasis, it can change the meaning. זה יכול לשנות את המשמעות של המשפט. And also, if you change emphasis during a sentence, it can actually change the complete understanding and the complete sentence structure and the complete message that you want to give across. זה יכול להעביר את המסר בצורה אחרת לגמרי. יש גם את הנושא של אינטונציה. Josh, we do this a lot with intonations and the way you say it and the way you raise tones or decrease tones. It's all about communication, which is important to get the message across. You do it very well naturally, mamash, but a lot of people don't have that natural ability to articulate a subject, articulate what they want to say with the right intonation. As with point skill.
With anything, it takes time, and I could say it takes effort too, but truthfully, when you do something for a long enough time, you start to build confidence and your brain gets used to things, and then it becomes second nature, which means you don't have to think about it actively while you're doing it.
Okay, מעולה. All right, let's do one.
Would you like to choose one?
Yeah, let's do one like extract. You want to do extract versus extract? I think you should do in your American accent, like extract versus extract, because I think it'll be an easier to understand. But let me try it. If we do extract, and then we basically, it's the noun of extracting something.
It's an extract.
It's an extract, sorry, an extract. an extract זה בעצם חומר תמצית מרוכזת או חומרים פעילים. בוא ניתן sentence לדוגמה, the plant extract showed antibacterial properties. בעצם התמצית של הצמח מראה כל מיני דברים אנטי-בקטריאליים.
I have one as well. This is a very bad habit. I mean, if you do it, you do it. But vaping, I remember when I first, made Aliyah here a couple years ago, Juuls were still a thing, right? Those that were Juuls, Juul, that was something else. And it got banned in this country because the nicotine extract was too high. People were getting sick from it. Yeah, people were getting sick from it, as well as, you had younger people abusing it and wiring their brains to become addicted to nicotine at a very young age. But I do remember that the nicotine extract was way too high.
I think there was a period in the world where there was just so much ignorance about so many things. People were just trying whatever, like cigarettes are bad, but let's try everything else. And people were like vaping on 100 different
yeah,
vaping on everything.
Yeah.
All right. So give us another example of extract and extract and extract.
So just looking at this noun, right? If we're looking at let's say we're discussing a big research paper. Sometimes I have students that are, researchers, and we have to take a deep dive into some, scientific studies. Well, we're not going to obviously read the entire study. We're going to read from an extract of the study, which just means a piska, or a part that's very important to talk about. That's, the center of our discussion. So you're reading from an extract, which is like a piska or mishpat shel tahkir, mihkar.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the verb. If this is on a tract.
So to extract means lahotzi, right? Lechaletz or lahotzi mimashu, right? So during the past 2 years, there were a few of the chatufim that were extracted by our brave soldiers, right? Which means the soldiers went in, they risked their lives, and they saved, some of the kidnapped, some of the hostages, the chatufim.
They did an extraction.
Yeah, they extracted them.
שזה emphasis, דגש על attract. עכשיו, there's also a movie on Netflix called Extraction. I don't know if you got to see it. It's one of those
I can imagine what it's about.
It's one of those mindless action movies, yeah. So that's one. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to pick another one, which is fun and a little bit challenging. Insight, insight is spelled I-N-C-I-T-E.
Are you sure you want to do this one?
Yeah, it might incite a few people. Are you feeling incited now?
No, I'm not going to comment.
Okay, as we have give us the breakdown of what is an insight and what is to incite.
Okay, so an insight is actually, well, first of all, it's like a bit of yeda, right? You can say like someone that has some insight with, it can mean that what actually has two meanings, right? So if you have insight, it means that you kind of know some knowledge on some certain topics, right? You have insight, maybe you have a lot of wisdom, chukhmah, on something. And then we also have the noun of a pe'ula acheret, right? Which is basically hasata, right? So insight, right? Sorry, insight is hasata, right? When you say something that is mean towards a person or a group of people, then we call it an act of insight. And then the verb, which is to incite, right? Emphasis hadagsh al khalaq hasheni shel hamila, sight. Incite means לעשות הסתה.
All right, now I think, you know what I think, listen to you now, I think you may have thrown in insight.
Yeah, insight.
This is interesting, this is a difficult one. כי אנחנו יושבים כאן על insight, שזה I-N-C-I-T-E, אבל יש לנו גם insight, I-N-S-I-G-H-T, which insight is, insight עם ה-S.
S-I-G-H-T.
Yeah, GHT is כאילו סוג של מידע או משהו חדש, להסתכל על דרך, להראות משהו חדש, להסביר משהו בצורה מיוחדת. He had amazing insights, הוא תרם הסתכלות, אפשר להגיד אפילו הסתכלות.
ראיה. S-I-G is a ראיה, like היכולת לראות, and then in is like פנימי, right? So it's like ראיית פנימית.
ראייה פנימית, exactly, amazing. Sight זה ראייה, נכון, ראייה פנימית. There will be an insight with the S.
Yeah.
These two
S-I-G-H-T.
S-I-D, exactly, S-I-G-H-T. כשאנחנו מדברים על insight with I-N-C-I-T-E, זה כבר, כשזה אומר על או פעולה של הסתה, אוקיי? או להסית, בעצם. So one is a noun and one is a verb, and depends how you say it. Okay, let's go to some of the more simple ones. Let's see something verse like objects versus objects.
Okay, so what does it mean to object?
Object is to...
I object, right?
Yeah, everyone knows. If you watched Suits, I mean, you got to know this.
Yeah, so to object with the dagesh on the ject part is להתנגד, right? We have this at in the courtroom, mishpat, right? As if someone disagrees with something, then they say, I object. Or they can also say objection, right?
Your Honor. You didn't repeat it.
Your Honor, yeah, you have to don't. If you don't say Your Honor before, right? And then we have the word object, which is the chafetz, right? It's an object. Or it could also be a noseh, right? With the object of your discussion, which is the thing you're talking about. Oh, that's a subject, sorry. Subject.
Okay, let's do one more to round this one off, to round today's episode. You've got a busy day of teaching and living life and enjoying life. I'm not going to say, the producers here are getting anxious because we don't want to take away from your smile. You're smiling right now. We don't want to lose that smile. We want to keep you happy. So let's do... Go for it.
All right. So we have the words to a refill versus to refill, right? So a refill, or with the emphasis hadagesh on the word on the sound re, means milui, right? A refill. I know that when my cousins came and visited America back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we would be at, I think, Pizza Hut or, some restaurant. And I think we have this in Israel now too, but back in the day, it wasn't a thing in Israel where they bought a cup of soda and they were allowed to have some free refills, right? Which meant that they could go and fill up the cup as much as they wanted to. And they thought that was the coolest thing. Because I guess maybe...
Israel, yeah.
Do they have... Are there free refills in Israel?
Really?
Rarely, yeah. So in America, you can get as much soda as you want. Take your cup, drink it, fill it up. So that's a refill, emphasis on the re part. And then we have
I just want to explain something on the soda part before you get into the refill part, is that on the soda in when Americans, למאזינים שלנו, ג'וש לא מתכוון לסודה מים. Americans say soda, they refer to actually Coca-Cola, they refer to Pepsi, Fanta, the whole works.
Well, we haven't actually... our listeners don't really know exactly where I'm from, and we're going to keep that a mystery. But if you're familiar with, the linguistic differences of certain regions of America, you'll know kind of, and I have an idea of where I'm from because other parts of America, they say pop as well. And where I'm from, we do not call it pop. We call it soda.
Soda. All right. And what do you call soda water? Like initial soda is actually like
sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
Yeah. Mayim notzetz.
It doesn't sparkle that much, but yeah, that's a nice name.
You shine it in the light, it can...
Okay. All right. So give us the second meaning of refill.
Yeah, the poll is to refill, which means lemale mechadash, right? So we have the word fill, which means lemale, to fill. And then אנחנו שמים את הצליל re. לפניו, דיברנו על זה לפני שנתיים, אני חושב. But basically, the sound re means לעשות מחדש. So שמים re לפני הפועל means like לעשות את הפעולה מחדש. אז refill זה למלא מחדש. And obviously, if you're a car owner, you need to refill your tank. Some people say fill it, but technically, if you've had your car for a while, it was filled before, and you need to refill it again.
Depends if you're doing, if you've got an EV. You know what an EV is, electric vehicle.
Well, yeah. You need
to plug it in. You've got a plug-in hybrid, depends.
You need to recharge your battery. Right?
Recharge your battery. All right, let's do one last one because I think this applies to way of life. And I'm a bit of I would say this applies a little bit to me as well. I know a lot to you.
Okay.
And a lot should be also to English, to our listeners who think against learning English or improving English. Rebel versus a rebel. Okay. So if I want to rebel, if I'm rebelling against something, אומר שאני הולך נגד, I refuse to surrender, אני מורד נגד משהו, אני מורד נגד הרצון שלי to procrastinate and say I can't do it, ואני לא יכול, I'm rebelling, but it's normally מוסדי, institutional, to rebel against an idea maybe even, or a way of life. And what is a rebel?
When I was younger, I was a bit of a rebel. When my parents or teachers said, don't do this, I did exactly whatever this was, right? So to be a rebel is להיות mored, right? nimrod, I think you would say. Basically, לעשות ההפך ממה שרוצים. And then so I was a rebel, and then the poel, לעשות, like limrod, we would say to rebel, with a emphasis on the bell part, the end of the word.
All right. Thank you for that. That was amazing. And guys, thank you for listening. תודה רבה שהזנתם לנו היום. That's it for today. אני מקווה שנהנתם מהפרק הזה. And you learned a few new vocabs. We discussed a little bit about emphasis and Thanksgiving. So we want to wish you guys again a happy Thanksgiving and last weekend. Josh, you have anything exciting planned for this weekend?
Nothing for this weekend, but tonight I will be going to a Thanksgiving dinner.
All right, that's awesome. So have fun. Don't drink too much, or do you go?
I don't drink actually, so
you don't drink.
I'm gonna have too much turkey, maybe.
Okay, so have a fun evening tonight, and I want to wish our listeners a very successful and enjoyable week. If you listen to this בתחילת השבוע, השבוע מוצלח, you're on the right foot, kicking off with English and with us. אנחנו נהיה כאן שוב שבוע הבא. תודה רבה שהזנתם לנו. Josh, have a nice weekend. I will see you again next week. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing week. And again, guys, reminder, אם אתם רוצים לשמוע עוד פרטים עלינו, על הקורסים שלנו, get in touch by WhatsApp or just give us a call on 053-550-1976. Thank you and bye-bye.